post any of my stuff on TikTok because TikTok is so... Let's go with censored. I'm going to go with censored. Do you guys remember back in the bad old days before they ruined the internet because of Donald Trump? I do. I miss that. Welcome to the live. My name is Chelsea Gods, your favorite cult leader. That's right. I'm the founder of the International Deport Melania campaign, the fastest growing cult in the entire United States of America. How can you tell that we're a cult? Well, we have matching hats, of course. All the best cults in 2026 have matching hats. So welcome to your daily dose of the cult of gods. It is I, Chelsea Gods, your favorite cult leader. What have we got going on? I don't know. Just the big PDF file himself is deciding he's going to change the names of lakes. So important to change the name of lakes. You guys, stop letting your senile grandpa, who also touched kids, do this kind of stuff. Okay, we're done with it. It's real stupid. I'm not a big fan of any of it. Oh, I forgot to put my chat app over here. I am live simulcasting over on TikTok. And then I'm also on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Please make sure you guys are following me on all of my platforms. I'm trying to grow my YouTube the most right now. So that's why I'm doing all these lives, because I want to do lives for YouTube. I got goals, you guys. What are my goals? World domination, except for the good guys. And I'm not going to do it where I like destroy everyone beneath me. You know, I was thinking earlier today, D-Cove, somewhere there's a man that's very thankful to be rid of this chick, says a person who is voluntarily giving me your time. Bro, you're not even rid of me. You're literally choosing to be here. I hope that you're a guy with a name like Jana, just so I can make fun of you a little bit further. But if you're a woman with a name like Jana, she says, deport me. If you're a woman who's a MAGA, you hate yourself. You literally hate yourself. Can you imagine aligning yourself with a political party who has normalized the conversation of saying that you shouldn't have the right to vote? You'd have to be freaking stupid. You'd have to be freaking stupid, lack self-awareness, and hate yourself. So, Brandon, thank you so much. Guys, Glam, nice to see you. Nice to see people who I know and recognize as always. Thank you. The irony here, no, like there's no irony here, dude. That's not even what the word irony means. I always feel like I have to define what definitions of things are for you guys because you're like, the most intelligent. Oh yeah, why don't you tell me some of Melania's accomplishments besides lying on her visa application and being Jeffrey Epstein's girl first? That's right, Chelsea for president. In God's we trust. You guys, you don't even have to. Yeah, Melania's yes, exactly. Pole dancing for Melania. Laurie says, yes, Laurie, I agree with you 100%. I can't say it live, not because I couldn't say it on Facebook. Facebook still gives me a little bit of leeway, but because I'm also over here on the TikTok, and TikTok is very, very censored. You guys remember when TikTok was super cool before it got ruined by Donald Trump? I do. In God's we trust. That's right. That's my motto. In God's we trust. In God's we trust. Melania does not speak 5 languages. You should watch a video of her needing a translator in France. The whole thing about her speaking 5 languages is a lie. She no speak English. Melania, my husband, he come here. He tell me, you do Jeff first and then me. And then he said, get married. And I said, okay. And now here I am. America. Melania doesn't speak a ton of different language. Trump ruins everything, says Craig. Yes, he literally does. How are those gas prices going? Thank you for saying you like my hat. How are gas prices going? How about housing prices? How's that going? Not so good. How about groceries? Oh, that one's bad too. What about all those food recalls, cyclospora, screwworm, beef problems? What do you guys think? How about the entire economy? Yes, exactly. Everyone knows that it sucks right now. Everyone knows that it's sucky right now. Everyone knows it. And what is he doing? He's renaming a lake because he's a petulant child. Zara says, thanks for what you're doing for all of us, Chelsea. I'm in San Diego now, but grew up in Vista and saw the video of me being assaulted in Vista. Those dudes were lame. Those dudes were lame. I'm actually just talked to a Vista person last night, kind of about that stuff, kind of about what's going on in Vista. And boy, what do I know? Try decaf. This your first time here? I literally am just like this. Hey, you guys, Chelsea's exuberant and really people like her and she's funny and can just keep talking all the time. Does that mean something's wrong with her? No, dude. You just don't know what it's like to be awesome. You should try it sometime. Just kidding. You're a MAGA. You don't get to be awesome. It's over for you. 3 million deported and nothing is better. Well, you could have had health care. You could have afforded to go to the doctor. You could have had, affordable utilities or something that actually made your life better, but you spent more money than ever. So, I don't understand this. Like, you could have actually made your own life better. You could have just had a better life for yourself. People who, as long as they inflict and harm on others, they're like, that good. Dude, you could have had stuff for yourself, bro. Like, what are you not understanding? 92% of young adults say that they will not go to the doctor because they cannot afford it. And then you're sitting there like, isn't it good that we spent more money than ever? Isn't that good? And we started a new war. How's that going? How's that going? How's that going? Yeah, exactly. You can't even argue with these people because they're literally dumb. I've been thinking about that so much that I can't take them seriously. I don't try and take them seriously. They would cut off their nose to spite their face as long as it's all about owning the libs. How are those gas prices? As long as they're owning the libs, I'm doing great. Okay. What about the fact that there's no housing? It's doing great. They freaking love suffering as long as they think somebody else is suffering more than them. Well, guess what, you guys? I'm tired of suffering in general. I'm tired of being the bad guys. I don't understand these Darth Vader politics and pretending that being on the side of Darth Vader is going to work out for us. Angel says, Angel says, I'm invited to the carne asada. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Christian, thanks for saying your stand with me. Ooh, glam. Let's cut healthcare and buy more missiles. Ooh, should we start another war? What other countries can we completely destroy for Israel? What other countries can we destroy for Israel? Let's talk about the racket that is the deportation scheme in the United States of America. And it is a racket, and it is to steal your taxpayer dollars. Okay? Let's talk about the racket that is the deportation scheme in the United States of America. First off, they're not deporting people. You've been lied to. They're not deporting people. You've been lied to. They're actually just rounding them up, not giving them due process, not putting them in front of a judge, and then they're putting them in concentration camps all across the country. And here's the real racket. Here's the real racket. They're putting them in concentration camps all across the country, and then they move them around. Now, why do they move them around? They take them from Florida to California to Texas to Montana. And you must be thinking to yourself, boy, I bet this is really expensive to constantly be moving these people from place to place for no serious reason. And then they wake them up in the middle of the night so that it's like the very worst possible. They're like shaking these people awake, who, by the way, their only crime in life was that they wanted to seek a better existence for themselves the same way that my ancestors wanted to seek a better existence for themselves. That's the crime. And the civil offense that they committed is as serious as a traffic ticket. So can you imagine that you committed a traffic violation and then they put you in a concentration camp, and that concentration camp doesn't have drinking water, or if it does have water, it has worms in the drinking water. Yeah, everything is poisoned and everybody is sick, and they're shackling 80-year-old grandmothers to wheelchairs, not because these people are a risk, but because they are torturing people in concentration camps, and they're moving them around all the time, waking them up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning randomly, and then forcing them to move and keeping them out of the system as much as possible so that their lawyers and their families cannot find them, so they don't have access to due process. And why do they move them around so much? Because they're billing you, because they're taking your money, because this is what your taxes are paying for. And last year, Geo Group and Core Civic saw a 700% increase in revenue. And surprise, surprise, Donald Trump invested in Core Civic and Geo Group, all while giving your taxpayer dollars to them. This was all a scheme to use your racism and your stupidity against you, so that instead of you getting something helpful for yourself, universal health care, or I don't know, paid paternity and maternity leave, or paid sick leave, or paid vacation leave, or anything that would genuinely make your life better. Instead, you are now spending all of your money on a for-profit concentration camp prison system. And here's the deal about for-profit prisons, and I know this is not going to surprise anyone who has two brain cells to rub together. When you make prisons profitable, they always find a supply of prisoners. And all of that is on your taxpayer dollar. All of that is the most amount of money that any president has ever spent. And our debt is the most amount it has ever been in its entire existence. And Trump spent more money in the month of July than any other president in the entire history of the entire country of the United States of America. Where are you, Doge hoes? Where are you, Doge hoes at? Where are you, Doge hoes at? Because this isn't about deportation, because guess what they do? They keep these people locked up. And then these facilities are making, there was one facility in Texas that was making, like, with when you average out how much money the government was paying them and how many people were inside there, where they were averaging getting paid $30,000, $30,000 per person per month. Your taxpayer dollars are giving a corporation $30,000 per person per month, and you're going to pretend that it was about deportation. It wasn't. It was about stealing your money and you being stupid enough and racist enough to go along with it. You could have had health care. All you people who can't go to the doctor, or you have a $10,000 deductible, or maybe you have a $17,000 deductible, or something even more stupid than that, you could have had something for yourself, but you're too dumb and you're too racist and you got nothing, and you spent more money than ever. More money than ever. And now he wants to tear down the Kennedy Center because they won't put his name on it. If you don't put my name on the building, I'm going to get so mad. He's throwing a Trumper tantrum. That's right, you guys. He's throwing another Trumper tantrum. And he's like, I'm going to take my toys and go home. I'm going to take my toys and go home. Is that your big, strong leader, Maga? That he's such a little pissy pants baby that if he can't put his name on a building, that he's going to get so mad? Can you imagine if Barack Obama was so mad? I can't put my name on stuff. Barack Obama did not put his name on stuff. George W. Bush did not put his name on stuff. Donald Trump has ruined the country of the United States of America. And any man who wants to put monuments to himself while he's alive is exactly the kind of man who deserves no monuments. What about Lake America? Well, a PDF file decided today that he wanted to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America because he's trying to obscure from the fact that he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. He was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were best friends. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were best friends. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were best friends for 15 freaking years. 15 freaking years. 15 freaking years. Yeah, exactly. He was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. He's always trying to obscure from the fact that that's what he did. Let's talk about something interesting that happened within the last 2 weeks when it comes to the Epstein files. First off, independent journalists, they're always doing the work. They're always getting things done. And an independent journalist discovered that the FBI, after they had attempted to redact the files of the handwritten FBI notes, that the Department of Justice actually did leave them on the server, and they were able to locate them on the Department of Justice's website server themselves. And the pages have been released. I have them saved. What do the pages say? First off, there is a victim named Jane Doe number 4. Jane Doe number 4 is a very important person because Jane Doe number 4 received a payout from the Jeffrey Epstein estate in New Mexico. That's right. We know she was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein because she got paid because she was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. There is a money trail along with the paper trail. Now, what does Jane Doe number 4 do? She implicates Trump directly. And she says very specific things about Donald Trump, like his favorite number is 6. She talks about how he hurt her in a very specific way that other people have said were hurt in this, other children, when they were children, had said they were hurt in the same way that Donald Trump hurt them. And Jane Doe number 4 was paid by the Jeffrey Epstein estate. And that's all you guys need to know. There's a huge cover-up. The Attorney General of the United States is Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney. So don't be surprised that he's on the side of a pervert, because he is. Okay? That's what these people are. And you guys need to stop pretending that people who are evil can't ascend to positions of power, because we know that that's not true. We know that extremely evil, the worst people imaginable, and you look back in history and you go, how the F did those people ever get to become so popular and so famous? And that's how. That's how. Because the most evil people often rise amongst us. And Donald Trump is 100% one of those people. Jeffrey Epstein himself said that Donald Trump was one of the most evil people he knew in his life. And if you guys don't remember, Donald Trump in New York Magazine in 2002 said, Jeffrey Epstein likes beautiful women, many of them on the younger, beautiful women almost as much as me, many of them on the younger side. Here's an interesting thing about Jeffrey Epstein that I need you guys to be vastly aware of. Every person who is involved with him is a problem. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Howard Lutnick is still in the Trump cabinet. He's one of the few people who's actually running behind the scenes. He's a Jeffrey Epstein friend. Donald Trump is a Jeffrey Epstein friend. There are so many people all involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Mehmet Oz, also in the Epstein files. Elon Musk, also in the Epstein files. You guys need to know that it's a whole big club of creepy freaking weirdos. And yes, they are the people controlling the country. How did they get to that position? Because you allowed them to, and because so many of you think that if one day you're going to get to join their perv club. And honestly, you're not. You're just going to be screwed over by them. You're just going to be screwed over by them. Luke says GTBOH. That's right. Deport Melania, deport Melania, deport Melania. Get that bitch out of here. Yeah, screw Bill Clinton. I'm not in a cult. You think I like Bill Clinton? Gross. Here's the thing you guys need to know about Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was not quiet about the things that he was doing. He was actually open and brazen about it. He was open and brazen about it. And people who were not involved in his ring were wondering why there would be so many young girls around. If you guys went over to your friend's house, like a 40-year-old man, and he's hanging out with teenagers, you should find that suspicious, okay? You should find that suspicious. You should find that suspicious. Today's drink of choice, lemon water. Delicious. Except for the fact that I chose a metal cup, and you can see all the condensation on it because it's so freaking humid here in San Diego. Anyway, so one of the things that stood out to me in the Epstein files is that there's this one testimony of a person who was interviewed by the FBI kind of after Jeffrey Epstein had been arrested in maybe the original 2015 arrest. And they talk about how weird it was that there was this girl in the kitchen crying, and that this girl told them that she was being forced into being a sex slave, and that it was like very uncomfortable for them. This was an open thing. Jeffrey Epstein, you guys have to know this about people who are creepy weirdos. They love showing off that they're creepy weirdos. Like, they love showing that off. And they will do so in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry if there's any Michael Jackson fans here, but Michael Jackson, when he paraded those kids around, was doing that for the same reason that Jeffrey Epstein did the same thing. They do it right in front of your faces so that you doubt yourself. That's an important part of this, is they do it so blatantly that you're doubting yourself, that you're understanding what's happening, because you would think to yourself, no, they would do this in secret. They didn't. They didn't do this in secret. So every person who hung out with Jeffrey Epstein absolutely knew what he was doing, which is why Donald Trump in that New York Magazine quote said, Jeffrey Epstein likes beautiful women almost as much as I do, many of them on the younger side. John Harris says, I'm corny. Well, John Harris, you're a PDF protector who voted for a man who is one of the most disgusting human beings of all time. He's literally a PDF file. You voted for Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Oh no, you guys, a man who likes Jeffrey Epstein's best friend doesn't like me. Fucking good. You think I want you guys to like me? I don't. I don't want you to like me. I don't want you to enjoy me. I want you to feel uncomfortable when you hear the things that I have to say. I want the things that I'm saying to you to enrage you to the point where you out yourself as being the creepy weirdos that you are. You guys always think I care about your opinion. I don't even want to stand next to you at the gas station. Okay? Oh no, a bunch of Nazis don't like me. Good. Good. Michael Jackson was not innocent. You couldn't, like, no. We're not going to be doing this. We're not going to be doing this. The number of victims is much larger than you're aware of, and they've all come, and there's so many public things that you can read, and they're all so similar. We're not going to be doing this. I do not forgive men. I think Michael Jackson was a victim of his own life, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to victims. I'm not going to do that to them. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Was Jesus Jewish? Like, I care. Was Rumpelstiltskin Catholic? I literally don't care. I don't care about pretend fantasy books. Do you want to talk about The Hobbit? I don't know. Like, whatever. Political Pirate. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for joining the live over here. I'm live streaming on multi-channels right now. My name is Chelsea Gods. I'm your favorite cult leader, founder of the International Deport Melania campaign, GTBOH. GTBOH. You know, get her out of here. Send her right back where she came from. If you guys want to get your very own Deport Melania hats or any of my merch, this one says, "Well, if you're kidding, no. You can head over to my website, chelseagods.com. If you're over here on TikTok, you can click the link in the bio. If you're not on TikTok, just head on over to chelseagods.com. Get your official Chelsea Gods merch. And all of the merch that you guys buy, I get about $5 to $10 per sale. I get about $5 to $10 per sale. And that's how I fund my lifestyle and all the things that I'm doing. So thank you so much. Am I suggesting deportation of Melania? I'm literally calling for it. A suggestion, that's too light of a word. That's too light of a word. That's not a suggestion. That's a request. It's a demand. Why is my mic muted? Who knows? I have a whole cult dedicated strictly to deporting Melania. So no, it's not a suggestion. I'm demanding it. Yeah, Barron is an anchor baby. Trump is also an anchor baby, if we're being honest. Trump's parents immigrated here illegally. Trump's parents immigrated here illegally, and then they had an anchor baby named Donald Trump. So yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. You know, it's weird. It seems like the only problem people have with immigrants in this country are the brown ones. Boy, is that... Oh, yeah, it was always about racism. It's always about racism. Melania, you think Melania... Okay, let's get into... I'm American? America? Yeah, America. Okay. Yeah, she's so American. She speaks so good the language. She come here 30 years ago, and she learned the English so good. The robots are here. The future is now. The robots are here. Melania lied on her visa application, and there are people who are currently being held in a concentration camp just 25 minutes from where I'm sitting who did less than what she did, and they're being held in a concentration camp. So I think if we're going to be, getting rid of people who filed their paperwork illegally, we should probably go after her. Or are you suggesting that rich people, we shouldn't go after them? Is this a two-tier system? Is there zero proof? No, there's actually an entire Fox News article. She actually said an entire Fox News article. So why don't you Google Melania worked illegally in the United States, Fox News 2016. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Huya Navy. Huya Navy. She's the mother of American children. Boy, wait until you find out. Wait until you find out. She doesn't have more than one child. And wait until you find out about all those people in the concentration camp just a few miles from me who are the mothers of American children. I'm really starting to feel like you just think rich people should get away with things that you don't think regular people should get away with. But here's the secret. You're a regular person. You're a regular person. Jeffrey Epstein sold Melania to Donald Trump. Correct. Michael Wolff, the author, says that the person who introduced Melania to Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein himself. That's right. And then Melania got her visa through Paolo Zampoli. Let's talk about how important Paolo Zampoli, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump's circle is. So there were 5 people in the Epstein files who all ran teenage modeling agencies. Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, John Casablancas, Jean-Luc Brunel, and Paolo Zampoli. 3 of those people were involved with Melania. By the way, Melania is all over the Epstein files. Melania is all over the Epstein files because Melania knew exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was doing right alongside Donald Trump. Now, Paolo Zampoli, one of these teenage modeling people, groomed a little girl named Amanda Ungaro. That's right, Paolo Zampoli, who was in his 30s, started grooming Amanda when she was 16 years old. And what did he gift her? Teddy bears. Yep, exactly. Paolo Zampoli's ex-girlfriend, who of course was groomed from the age of 16 by that disgusting monster human being, has already said that he is the person who fraudulently obtained Melania's visa. It's also important for you guys to note that Paolo Zampoli, what was his main business? Fraudulent visas and passports. Correct. Thank you. A Brazilian, nice to see you. Someone from Polk County, Florida, nice to see you. Deport Elon Musk, absolutely. Allison, nice to see you as well. Thank you guys for joining the live. I am live over on TikTok. I'm also live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Please make sure you're following me on all of my social media channels. He had her deported to protect Trump and because of his own petty vengeance. Yeah, J.World to search the EP's emails. Yeah, exactly. Deport Elon Musk to Mars. Deal. Oh, we have Kentucky in the house. Oh, we have Kentucky in the house. I, of course, I'm located here in San Diego, California. You said the GTA 6 extended look. All right. Are we getting Epstein files before we get GTA 6? Probably not. One thing you guys need to know, these rich people, they will destroy the whole planet and they won't care because they don't care about you. They don't even see you guys as human beings. You know? Like, I love this. If Elon Musk proposed to me, no, sir. I wouldn't even be within 50 feet of that predator. Let's talk about Elon Musk's emails to Jeffrey Epstein. Elon Musk, are there going to be girls? Are there going to be girls on the island? You guys all worship the creepiest freaks ever. Every MAGA, you guys are pervs, and we know it because you let these people get away with the grossest stuff, and it's so blatant. Okay? It's gross. And no, I don't worship these people like you do because I'm not a weirdo. You know, I'm not a freaking weirdo. Oh, thank you, Dylan. Oh, Dylan, you got a cult leader's name in your name. His name is Dylan Joseph Smith. If you guys are not aware, I was actually raised Mormon, which is an important part of why I understand that the people who follow Donald Trump are in a cult. One of the most interesting things about cults, and I'm sure you guys know this from all the weird cults that you've heard of, it is a very important tenet of a cult leader that they are, in fact, a creepy perv. Because if they weren't creepy pervs, then people wouldn't believe them. Like, you have to have the biggest, gross, worst sin imaginable, the worst things imaginable. Then your cult leaders, your cult followers just have to ignore it. So if you're a creepy perv and you have a cult, the best part about that is that you can do anything. You can steal all their money. You can make their life miserable and worse, and they're still just going to follow you because they already forgave you for something unforgivable. You know? Oh, yeah, Warren Jeffs was a leader from Utah. Warren Jeffs was a polygamist cult leader. If you guys are not aware, there's a break off of the Mormon church that happened, I don't know how many years ago, like 100 years ago, maybe a little bit more than 100 years ago, because maybe not quite 100. Like 100 something years ago. And they went and they all lived in these cult compounds in southern Utah. And Warren Jeffs was a creepy perv who was hurting children, just in the same way that Donald Trump is a creepy perv who was hurting children, because all these cult leaders all have the same tactics and same personality traits, and they're all pervs, and they all ascend to positions of power all the time. Yeah, GTBOH, get Melania out of here. By the way, you guys, if you like any of my songs and you want to listen to any of them, you can get them on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Pandora, and otherwise. You can listen to anything that I write. Just type in the name Chelsea Gods and find all my artist profile there and listen to everything. Brigham Young beat women. So there is a book written by a girl called The 19th Wife. Brigham Young collected women in a harem. And in this book, The 19th Wife, she details that Brigham Young said that he would destroy her entire family and take away all of their businesses if she wouldn't marry him. She details the extreme abuse by Brigham Young. And you guys, this is the same story time and time and time again. And the Mormon church is the richest church in the world now. So if you want to talk about things being founded by creepy weirdos, Donald Trump has a cult, and his followers are in a cult, and there is nothing that any of us can say or do that's ever going to get them out of the weird cult that they are in. They are all in. They are 10 toes freaking down on worshiping the dumbest cult leader you've ever seen in your entire life. Their life is harder. Everything is more expensive. People are getting sick and dying from the measles, cyclospora, and other serious food safety things that never happened like this before, and they won't care. They will just go, yes, this is what needs to be done. And everything their cult leader says, they will take as the God's freaking truth because they are in a cult. There is no helping them. They have to see it for themselves. There has to be something that's called breaking your shelf. So when you are leaving a cult, and in Mormonism, this is something that people call breaking your shelf. So you take little ideas and then you put it on your shelf until you go, okay, I can't believe anymore. Like I've put all my faith in this and it's really still failing me. So what are some ideas that you can put on the shelf of Trump voters? Well, they always try and bring up that he did this because he just wanted to make America better. If he was doing that just to make America better, why didn't he bankroll himself? Why didn't he and all of his rich friends bankroll himself? Why did they rely on the money of poor and regular people? In the year 2020, was it 2021? No, 2023. In the year 2023, the number one, Trump was always controlled by Israel. This person's like, he sold out. Sir, his son-in-law is Jared Kushner. It was always a setup. Didn't you get it? He sold out. Sir, it was always a setup. Ask people why they voted for Trump and you never get a reason. I love him. They have no answers except for faith. They have no answers except for the things you'd say about a cult leader. So why did Donald Trump, if he was doing this to be benevolent, then why did he not bankroll it himself? If Donald Trump was doing this to be benevolent, then why did he sell a meme coin that cost so many people their entire life savings, but gave him $1.2 billion? Because it was always about making money. It's a scam, you guys. It's a freaking scam. Hey, Mike, welcome on YouTube. I know there's not as many people on YouTube, but I am live over on TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, and otherwise, Oh, Joe Biden. Oh, yeah, they're still blaming Joe Biden. We're here. Yes. So both Russia and Israel have dirt on Trump, and that's why they control him. And the entire world is being run by the very most evil people. How many illegals do you take in? I'm sorry, are you not under the impression that they have their own houses? They literally have their own spaces. What do you mean take them in? Why would anyone take them in? You're the one who's giving them housing now. You're the one who's spending money on them now. They were taking care of themselves just fine. I don't have a problem with any undocumented people. I literally don't. They never made my life worse. They always made my life better. You want a Hunter Biden, baby. You want Hunter Biden? Oh, freaking yes. Hunter Biden for sure. I don't have any problems with immigrants. Can you guys let me know how your life has been personally affected by a woman selling tacos? Is your life so much worse because of that? Is she why your gasoline is so high? Is she why your gasoline is so high? I actually give away a larger percentage of my salary than Donald Trump does. These people all are so weird. They're like, why won't you take in them illegals? Illegals. Should we make them wear a Star of David? What do you think? Should we make them wear a Star of David? Is that what you want to do? Should we make them wear a big badge? I've seen this before. I've seen this happen before. It doesn't end well for anyone, actually. Totalitarianism, authoritarianism does not end well for anybody. So that's the bad news. A police state is actually always bad, even for the people who think that they're going to have a good time in it. Democrats are going to lose the midterm. Sure, bro. I do believe that the midterms have already been rigged, especially in red states like Texas. So I just need you guys to be prepared for that. Texas and Florida have already rigged. In fact, Texas removed 1.8 million voters from their voter rolls this week. Texas is like, hey, we don't believe in democracy. And they don't want to hear your voices. They literally don't. They want to just destroy the entire world. This is about them making money, not making your life better. This is about them making money. They're all making money. You guys are poor as ever. And no, you're not making money on the stock market. You don't even own enough stocks. The stock market is owned by the top 1% of people. 50% of all stocks are owned by 1% of people. 87% of all stocks are owned by 10% of people. And none of you dumbs in my chat are any of those percentages. You're getting played. Most crime committed by Americans. Yeah. An American citizen is 50% more likely to commit a crime than an undocumented person. Undocumented people commit crimes at a less than 50% rate of a regular American. You hate totalitarianism, but how else will we get change? You guys, these people, you know what you need, Sawyer? You need a dominatrix. What you always needed was either a male or female dominatrix to tell you what to do. Because that's That's what you need in your personal life so that you can feel like a good boy, okay? But totalitarianism doesn't actually work anywhere. Name one country where totalitarianism has been good for the masses. People in Russia, they live in an oligarchy, in a totalitarian government, and they can't afford to buy a new pair of shoes. China doesn't have totalitarianism. China has a single party state, but it's like pretty much a functional, it's pretty much functional. It's not totalitarianism in the same way. China also doesn't have corporatism. China also heavily punishes billionaires who take advantage of citizens. Like, you need to understand that you are the person who doesn't understand China's government system at all. China continually improves the lives of all the people in the country. China believes that food is a human right. Okay. China has increased the life expectancy of all of its citizens. Like, we're not talking about the same thing. That is a single party state. But the reason why people in China tolerate that is not because it's totalitarianism. It's not. It's very free in China. It's extremely free. In fact, China is more free. China is more free than the United States of America. They have more freedom than the United States of America. And that's just factual. China has a very strong state and still spends less than 1/10 of what we spend on our military. So maybe you're getting played, boo. Maybe you're getting played, boo. China doesn't spend its money creating wars in foreign countries. China spends its money expanding economically and providing economic opportunities for the human beings there. China invested in its infrastructure. China taxes its billionaires at a very high rate. Like, if you want to know why China's doing successful, we know why. Because of taxes. Because they're taxing people at a progressive rate. They do have freedom of speech. So that's actually not true. In fact, people in China have more freedom of speech than we have. I know that we've been told the line that they don't have freedom of speech, but it's not really true. It's not really true. In fact, I was talking to a man who lives in China just a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, oh, no, it's way more free than here. We can say whatever we want. So, Muslims are taking over. Oh, yeah, I heard this one before 25 years ago with September 11th. The Israelis are really good at creating kind of this fake Islamic panic. And I have to tell you guys, I'm not actually worried about anyone in Islam because they're not the ones who are committing a genocide in Palestine. They're not the ones who bombed a bunch of schoolgirls in Iran. Like, you're sitting there telling me these are the people I should be worried about. Are they? Are they really? The number one terrorist group in the United States of America. Yes, of course I'm against a one-party state because I live in the United States of America. Yeah, of course I'm against that. Yes, of course. I know that the United States going from being a democracy to being an authoritarian oligarchy is bad for everyone here. Bye, Political Pirate. Thanks for popping in. I know that's bad for everyone here. Yeah, absolutely. Totally against that. Thank you for saying on my hat. By the way, you guys can get your very own official Deport Melania hats over on my website, chelseagods.com. You can join the official Cult of Gods. Get your matching Deport Melania hats, chelseagods.com. Do I want to keep two parties? No, I would actually like to have a parliament so that we could have multiple parties. I would like there to be a parliament system in the United States of America so that more people have more voices. I care about the opinions of others. I don't believe for 1 second that I should be ruled by the rich billionaires. They've never been right. They've never been right. They've never been right. Everyone needs to be taxed the same. No, rich people need to be taxed 90% like they were in the 1950s. During the period of time where middle-class America saw the very most robust economic growth and people had the best economic life, then we were taxing people in the upper tax bracket at 90%. And yeah, I don't care. If a billionaire is taxed at 90%, he's still going to be worth way too much money. Oh no, they're not going to be able to buy another gold fountain? Yeah, I don't care. They're still going to be able to buy a gold fountain. They're still going to be able to buy a yacht. They'll just have a few bank accounts with a little bit less money in it so that you can have better roads, so that you can have a robust welfare system, so that you can have paid vacations, so you can have paternity and maternity leave, so that you can have health care. Oh, I don't want my life to be better because those billionaires, how will they afford more yachts? You guys are so dumb. You vote against your own best interest time and time and time again because you've been sold a lie that one day you're going to be worth $1 billion. Who in your family is worth $1 billion? Exactly. None of you are worth $1 billion. Hugo doesn't like freedom. It hurts Hugo's feelings to be told that billionaires are on his side. He's like, you need to get murdered. Why? Because I want you to have health care? Because I want you to have health care. So the people that work more and harder, they don't work more or harder. See, now that's the funniest part, is there's this idea that you think that rich people work more than you. They don't. They work less than you. And they make their money on their money, not on their work. You make your money on your labor. They don't make their money on their labor. They don't. This is actually freaking hilarious. They're making money off of money. They make money by just sitting there. They're all playing a game that you're not even a part of. You are literally not even a member of that part of that game. Isn't that so funny? Like they think, oh no, they work so hard. Donald Trump was born into his wealth. And if he hadn't been born into his wealth, then he wouldn't be where he is now because he declared bankruptcy 6 times. If you or I declared bankruptcy 6 times, our life would be over. But that didn't happen for Donald Trump because he had family money. Do you get it? Do you get it? No. You don't get it because you think one day you're going to be worth $1 billion. You're not. Can you name one time in any time in history where billionaires have been on the right side of anything? What billionaires are you like, wow, they really made life better for regular people? I'm interested in that. When have they made life better for regular people? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. If you work hard, then your family will have lots of money. Some of the hardest workers in this country are the poorest people. There are people out there who are super duper poor, who have 3 jobs, and they still can't make ends meet. Are you suggesting that they're not working hard? They are. They are. I know that we need to talk about what economic reality looks like in the United States, because you guys keep having this fantasy fairy tale that if you work hard, you get rewarded for it. And what that's called is upward mobility. And upward mobility means that you're able to raise through socioeconomic status through your hard work. The United States, there is no upward mobility. You're more likely to become rich in Estonia than you are in the United States of America. Okay? The only thing that trickles down is piss. That's the one. You have to remember that the Maga would literally get pissed on by Donald Trump and they still would say, thank you, may I have another? They're in a cult. I mean, they're dumb. They think they're going to be a billionaire. There are 926 billionaires in this country and 338 million regular people. And these people think I'm going to be one of the billionaires if I keep working harder. But it didn't work for their grandparents. It didn't work for their parents. It didn't work for their aunts. It didn't work for their uncles. It didn't work for their brothers. It didn't work for their cousins. Nobody they know has had this happen to them, but they still hold on to the dream. The dream of the idea that they get to be a billionaire one day is more important to them than actually having economic success in their own personal life. Instead of making their own life better, that would increase like their happiness level. They're like, but what if I get to work myself to death and maybe one day I get a chance of being a billionaire? I do fully believe that these are the same kind of people who spend all their money on Kalshi because they're just betting their life away, right? They're just betting that it's going to happen for them. They're definitely the kind of people who hang out at casinos. They're definitely those kind of people. Like they think that the whole economic system should be based on this idea that you can gamble and make money. Well, here's the deal. Elon Musk came from a rich family. Bill Gates came from a rich family. Jeff Bezos came from a rich family. And all of these people who you worship came from rich families. They didn't come from nothing. There is a mythology that you can make yourself from nothing in the United States. And the reality of that is not true. These people came from legacy money. And then you're letting aristocrats rule over you as if that's ever worked out ever in history. And I keep asking the same question time and time and time again. When have the aristocrats been the right choice? They've always been the evil ones. They've always been the ones doing the bad things. The kings were always doing terrible things to the subjects. It's the same thing. Same story, different place. Same story, different place. Same story, different place. And the outcome is always the same. And the outcome is always the same. They're sociopaths. Yeah, they're sociopaths. They're sociopaths. The people at the top are sociopaths. They're devoid of human feeling and emotion. And they literally don't care if we live in squalor and die, as long as they make more money and can buy more things. And it's not even that they're buying things because they have so much money they could never spend it in their whole life. I saw this thing the other day that said that if you paid somebody $60 an hour, it would take you 24 hours a day, $60 an hour. It would take you 2 million years to get to $1 trillion. $60 an hour, every single hour of every single day for 2 million years is $1 trillion. And then these people are going to come in here and be like, oh, we can make it. We can make it. Am I the lady in the pro-choice video with the big collar answering the questions? Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. That is me. I'm Chelsea Gods. And yes, I do the Dr. Daft show. I've been on Jubilee. I've been on all those shows, doing all the things. You wrote a book about this phenomenon called 1,000 Billions. There you go. 1,000 Billions. It's so much money you guys cannot even imagine. These people do the world for the better, and they don't. We need to be asking the question, why are we accepting these sociopaths literally making life worse for everyone? Why are we accepting that as if it's normal? You know, real quiet. Thank you so much. Talaya, thank you so much for saying I'm very educated. I try. I freaking try. I try to read a lot. I try and pay attention. Why deport Melania? Why not? Why not? Why not? Get her out of here. Send her right back. Okay? Send her back. I actually don't play TikTok. I come on TikTok to make content and do lives, but I actually don't spend my time scrolling on TikTok. Can you ask me something? I bet this is a bot. Am I going to be the latest Jubilee? No, I'm not on Jubilee, but I did do another Dr. Daft show. I have another Dr. Daft show filming next week. Next week, it's me and 19 other pro-choice people against one crazy Christian. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah. Have I ever met Adam Mockler? Yeah, I did. I met Adam Mockler last December, but we didn't stay in contact or anything, but I did. I met Adam Mockler last December. I'm sure if I reached out to him, we would connect. But you need that hat, you can head on over to my website, chelseagods.com. No link in the bio. Link in the bio. Yeah, it's good to get me on the air more. So because TikTok is so full of censorship and YouTube is pretty much that way too, and I'm not good at getting on the YouTube algorithm, one of the ways that I work around the algorithm problem is that I make sure that I do shows that do well on the channels that I'm not dominating. So then my voice and my face is all over those channels still. So I actually started my viral internet career on TikTok, but since TikTok got sold to Trump sycophant David Ellison and Oracle CEO bombing children in Palestine, David Ellison, I'm not as on TikTok like I used to be, and I don't create content here because so much of it just gets community guidelines violations, which you guys know. Community guidelines violations left and right on TikTok. Instagram and Facebook are starting to get a little more that way, but TikTok is just the worst, you know? Anyway, I do all those shows. So that I still am in the algorithm on TikTok. I've been surprised sometimes to find out I have like TikTok clips with like 15 million views, 20 million views. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. That's great. That means I'm staying relevant on a platform that I don't necessarily have my content on. So it's good that that's still happening for me because like my greatest job is to spread my message as far and wide as possible. That's my real goal, is to make sure that people hear the things I'm trying to say. It is common sense, people first, progressive policies for the future of the United States of America. And, you know, trying to convince people of their own best interests. Did Gunny come to California? No, I haven't met him in person. West End Girl, thank you for the follow. And so it's nice that I'm still pretty viral on TikTok and YouTube. You know, LinkedIn is very censored as well. Awful. You know, awful. Yeah, world building, exactly. We got to do it. Someone's got to do it. It's got to be us. The things don't get done unless you don't do it yourself, so you just have to do it. Have I been doing any stand-up? No, I haven't done any stand-up, but I mean, I do if I'm on the street and I'm like roasting the Maga. Definitely some live roasting, you know. Hey, Honey Rose, nice to see you. Delicious. Hey, we got the thong song in here. Thong. This girl comes in with her name, Thong Girl, and I'm like, oh. I was trying to explain to my kids the cultural significance of the thong song and Cisco the other day, and I felt very old. I'm like sitting there trying to have a real conversation about the thong song, the liberal platform. Oh, you know what? Blue Sky, I never got with it. I never got on the Blue Sky. I didn't do Blue Sky or any of the others. It's hard because it's like, you know, it's hard to do so many social media platforms. I'm trying, but I'm not great at it. I'm grateful that I'm able to like do well on the social media channels that I do focus on. So But I felt so old the other day, like teaching my kids about the thong song. I was like, and in the 7th grade, this was very, very controversial. Is Melania fully legal? I mean, she did lie on her visa application. So is she? She lied on her visa application. She got it illegally through Paolo Zampoli. And I mean, she worked here legally in the United States. Is she here legally? I mean, according to the Trump administration's own policies, she's not here legally. So, I mean, you can look it up. You can look it up on Google right now. You can go, Melania worked illegally in the United States. Fox News. They had to admit it. They had to admit that Melania worked in the United States illegally. Now Donald Trump would deport people for that. Okay? This article is archived. It is from 2016. You can find it. I quote it all the time. I always pull up Fox News because, of course, when you're talking to MAGA sycophants in a cult, you got to talk their culty cult language, right? But what about Fox News? And then they're like, fake news, fake news. Yeah, Fox News. Deport Melania. You know? Yeah, I can't talk to anyone in a cult either. I have nothing in common with them. What is there in common with them? Nothing. They've made their whole entire personality worshiping a politician. So lame. The lamest of lame that you've ever seen in your whole freaking life. That's right, Jim. Deport Melania. Get her out of here. Send Jeffrey Epstein's girl right back where she came from. Whenever people tell me they like my hat in public, that's what I say to them. Like, get her out of here. Get her out of here. Send her right back. Look, I'm working on my felt board behind me. You can't see, but I also have a plant now. It's right here. You can't see it. It needs to go lower. Now I know the plant needs to be in camera angle. Oh, wait. You can see it if I pull it over on TikTok. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's too far over. I really made a mistake there. I tried. Not just a politician, a PDF. Oh, yes. But I do believe that if you're in a cult, that the cult leader has to be a PDF file. A fully 100%. I don't think that you can be in a cult without that, you know? You know, no, it's felt. I have the felt tiles behind me because otherwise my room is echoey. So I'm the one who's. I love this. You guys are the ones in the cult. The hell are you talking about, wacko? Who sits there and blows whistles and honks horns and screams at federal agents? They're not federal agents. They're a bunch of Proud Boys who were given a badge and a gun. They're not federal agents. Oh, and by the way, if I'm in a cult, who's my leader? Who's my leader? If I'm in a cult, who do I worship and defer to every single day? Who do I not question any of the things that come out of their mouth? You can't name one? Yeah, of course not. I always hate that. They're always like say something, but the words they say never have any meaning. Sir, Donald Trump could shit in his hand, rub it on his face, and say that it's chocolate, and you guys would lick it off. There is nothing that man could do that you guys would ever question. You would never question anything he does. He's stealing your money. He literally is stealing your money. And you're like, I'm okay with this. I'm cool with that. Tony, thank you for the follow. Tariffs. Okay, tariffs were a heist. That's an excellent point. Let's talk about the tariffs. So Donald Trump illegally put tariffs on, which, by the way, did not do anything good for you. It made everything more expensive. So everything got more expensive, and the United States government collected these tariffs, and then it turns out the tariffs were illegal, and then they refunded the tariffs to the companies, but not to you. So you paid more for all of your consumer goods. The prices of those consumer goods have not gone back down. No, they haven't. They haven't gotten any better. And then the companies made billions of dollars. So Amazon got like $3 billion. And what did you get? But they didn't just get $3 billion. They actually got $6 billion because you paid $3 billion in tariffs. And then they got a refund of that $3 billion. So they got $6 billion off of you. So tell me why that was good for you. You're in a cult. You're stupid. Tell me why that was good for you. I can't wait for the justifications. I literally can't wait for the justifications. Am I a polymath? No, I can't speak more than one language. I freaking wish. Thank you for sharing. You like my shirt? Or somebody else's? This one's mine. Mine says, "Vote with your kitty." Meow, 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 meow. Oh, a little corgi. Cute. Oh. Zara, yes, you're right. John, absolutely. Melania is a weirdo. Oh, it's thinking more than one domain. I don't know if I know what a polymath is. What's a polyglot is multiple languages. See? I mixed up the words. Polyglot is multiple languages. Polymath is thinking more than one time. You know, I should look that up. I should look up the definition because a little bit of me is like, maybe so. Because I'm always having multiple conversations and things happening at once. My boyfriend, it drives him insane because we'll be in the middle of having a very good time with each other. And then I'll be like, wait, what about this? I am thinking about both things. I'm thinking about multiple things. Things are never out of my mind. I'm going to write that. I love that. I totally mixed up polymath and polyglot. This is actually something I'm very embarrassed about, but I mixed up the word and I haven't come out yet, and I'm so embarrassed. I mixed up those words too. That's okay. I know that it's like a stupid thing that a person like me would feel embarrassed about. I do feel embarrassed about it because I totally mixed up aphasia and aphantasia, and they're not the same thing. I'm a moron. Canadian maple syrup is like $13 at Costco for a pint. Oh, wow, you're a polyglot. See, we have a polyglot over here. She's an American Brazilian and French, and she can speak 6 different languages, unlike Melania. Now you, Talaya, are a polyglot. Not me, though. It was called a polymath. I'm going to write that down so I can look that up later. Yeah, I can't speak multiple languages. Yeah, Canada, let us in. Let's be the United States of California. California, Washington, Oregon. We'll just make our own state. The state of Greater California. Leave your Maga husband, but cheat on him first. Cheat with his brother or his best friend, whichever is worse. He doesn't deserve your kitty, meow, meow. It's time for you to hit the road. So leave a lasting impression before you go and cheat on your Maga. Yes. You have a spatial pattern recognition. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I think that you might be right about this. Hey, Wendy from Missouri. Nice to see you. Nice to see you guys. And we got Tennessee in the house. Oh, Tennessee. I want to go to Memphis because I want to see the National Guard and I want to heckle the National Guard. By the way, you guys, there's no reason why American soldiers should be on the streets of the United States of America unless they're there cleaning up after a natural disaster. Nutty Nettie left her Maga husband. Oh, slay, slay, slay. Oh. Yes, girl, the glow up is real. The glow up is real. I'm excited for you. Cheers to that. I left my Maga husband as well. That's why I tell people to leave their Maga husband, because I know that there is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. Yep, Michigan does have 3 women in charge right now. Indiana, Indiana, a little bit harder. Indiana is hard right now. And you guys had that flood, and then they didn't have power for a whole freaking week. Bad. Even in a red state, Donald Trump will leave you high and dry. Even in a red state. Jennifer, good. You deserve a good husband, Jennifer. Jennifer says she and her husband are both Democrats. Good. You deserve a good husband. Thank you for saying you like my hat. By the way, you guys can get your very own Deport Melania hat. Join the official Cult of Gods over on my website, chelseagods.com. I earn about $5 to $10 per sale on all of my items. That is what funds what I do. If you guys want to know how I make money, that's how I make money. My merch and the donations from people like you. You're in love with Hunter Biden? Deal. Same girl, same. I found out he's married. I'm like, oh, I'm married too. But doesn't mean I wasn't dreaming about it. We're all dreaming about Hunter Biden. And if you look on Twitter, I haven't looked on Twitter. I don't really want to see a picture of Hunter Biden's weenus. But if I wanted to, I know where it is. Los Angeles. Awesome. Obviously, I go to Los Angeles a lot. I'll be in Los Angeles on the 4th next week. I might actually be there on Monday, too. I might be in Los Angeles twice next week. We'll find out. Thank you for saying you love my hat. Because I guess next week is Labor Day, and they're doing something for Labor Day outside the Metropolitan Detention Center, and my LA crew was like, hey, will you come up? And I'm like, maybe I will. I'll have to see. It depends on if my partner is taking the day off or not. San Francisco Bay, awesome. Oh, wow, you're taking your family traveling for a year. You don't care that's between him and his wife. No. Hunter Biden's picture was actually stolen by the Republicans, but it wasn't stolen by the Republicans. It was actually Israeli intelligence. So Israeli intelligence pretended that Hunter Biden had this whole laptop thing. It was all fabricated. And then they stole these pictures of Hunter Biden while he was like on a crack binge. You know what I mean? Thank you for saying you love the hat, you guys. Get her out of here. You can get your Hunter's so funny. Like, I keep writing him on Instagram and be like, we should do something. I know it's just his team, but like, with Hunter and I, unstoppable. Hunter and I, it would be incredible. It would be incredible for me to be with Hunter Biden. Okay, let me talk about the people who I want to meet. Hunter Biden is on my list. That's like the top tier for me. That's the top. No, okay, actually here it is. Top tier, Bernie Sanders. Right under Bernie Sanders, Hunter Biden. Thank you, Shane. Love my shirt. This one is my cat. I have a series of 3 of these shirts available on my website. This one is my cat. This is her name. Her name is Marmalade. And she doesn't actually smoke, so you guys don't have to worry about it. She, it's just for attention. So Bernie Sanders is my number 1. My number 2 is Hunter Biden. You tell Hunter you want to be a second wife. Okay, you guys, I haven't met Hunter. You're putting a lot of pressure here. No, I really hope I do get to meet Hunter. That's like kind of that's a bucket list for me. Bernie Sanders, Hunter Biden. That's what I want to meet. Those are the people I want to meet. I'd like to meet Melanie Stansbury, who I think I can meet Melanie Stansbury. I just have to go see her in Congress. If you guys are not aware, if you travel to Washington, D.C., when Congress is there, you can just go to their offices, and sometimes they're there. I met Adelita Grijalva the last time I was there. In fact, Adelita Grijalva knew who I was, and I was like, what? Oh my God. And I was so excited. That Adelita Grijalva knew who I was. I want to meet Melanie Stansbury. She might know who I am too. So we'll put her as number 3. Number 3, Melanie Stansbury. We'll put AOC up there too. But I've seen AOC speak and I've seen Bernie speak and I was pretty close. But I would really... You met Joe Biden? I love that. So you want to be... I wish I could read this. I can't read it. I want to read it, but TikTok will censor me. The funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. You met Gavin Newsom? Cool. By the way, you guys, I have some critiques of Gavin Newsom, but I do want to talk about the things that Gavin Newsom did for California that are very good. All school lunch is free in the state of California for every child. It doesn't matter. All school breakfast and all school lunch is free. Gavin Newsom also put in a universal pre-K and TK program here in California, which means that families no longer have to pay for daycare. There is a free after-school program for children here in California. And all of these programs were put in place by Gavin Newsom. So I know that the DNC has already chosen Gavin Newsom to be the nominee for 2028, and I was pretty begrudging it. And I have to let you guys know that those programs here in California really do make a difference for people here. We also have free community college. We also have free community college for all residents of California. And these are programs that change the lives of regular, everyday families. We also have basically a universal healthcare program. And every single one of those things was put in place by Gavin Newsom. So even though in some ways Gavin Newsom is much too centrist for me, and he also comes from a rich family, I do have to give him credit for actually creating policies that positively affected the families here in California. Is he a perfect person? I don't think so. Do I know the DNC is going to shove him down our throat? I do. Justin, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? This is the thing about Democrats, liberals, and otherwise. I would pick Gavin Newsom over what happened to us any day. I would have chosen Kamala Harris over Donald Trump every day of the week, and I don't care. And she wasn't perfect. I literally don't care. I don't care. I didn't agree with her Gaza thing. I didn't agree with a lot of things, but I still would have chosen a normal freaking existence instead of the monstrosity we have now. You guys take your moral superiority and you rub it in everyone's faces so much that when things are destroying, I hate this. Nobody on the left is pretending that being with children is okay. This person over here is like trying to pretend that they're like a Democrat, like a bot. And it's like, nobody thinks that being with kids is okay on the left. That is a strictly right-wing thing. You guys literally have a PDF file as president. And it's not just him. It's all of them. Like, I don't want to hear political absolutionists that talk to me about who's good and who's bad. I will have to begrudgingly vote for Gavin Newsom because I already know they're going to shove it down our throats. But did I see the documentary with me and Robbie Roadsteamer? Yeah, I did. I was pretty proud of that documentary. There's this really great documentary about Robbie called American Kayfabe, and Robbie very graciously let me be part of it. I want you guys to know something about my bestie, Robbie Roadsteamer. He's a real G. He's a real G. And that man has done nothing but open doors for me and has done nothing but be the kindest, nicest human being imaginable. He is incredibly supportive of me and my talents. He is one of my biggest fans. He's one of my biggest fans, and he is one of my truest friends. And I have nothing but nice things to say about Robbie Roadsteamer as a human being, because he is an amazing artist, an amazing creator. He's as true of an artist as they come. Robbie is an artist through and through everything. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He has been doing Robbie Roadsteamer for like 20 years. He's created tons of memorable characters. He has an incredible life. Robbie Roadsteamer was best friends with the former WWE wrestler Chyna. He's incredibly an interesting person through and through. And that man is why I am as popular as I am. And he never shut a door in my face. And he always held the door open for me. And I genuinely have nothing but the most amazing things to say about Robbie. And he knows that I love him very much. And Robbie let me be in that CNN documentary, American Kayfabe. And I am so grateful for the opportunities that Robbie keeps giving me. No, Melania came here illegally. You can look it up. Can you Google Melania worked illegally in the United States, Fox News 2016? Melania worked illegally, Fox News 2016. Future cat lady? Freak, I hope so. I hope so. I'd rather have 15,000 cats than a single Maga. Please, give me all the cats in the world. Oh no, I have to pet a cat. Isn't that so funny that they're like, oh, cats? Like, dude, everyone likes cats. The most popular pet in the United States is cats. Everyone likes cats. Oh, and by the way, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like animals, do you know Donald Trump has never had a dog? How can you trust a person who's never had a dog? He's never had a cat. He's never had a dog. He's never had a pet in his entire life. How can you trust anyone who doesn't even have a pet? You know? You know? You're walking your cats right now? Exactly. Living the dream. And they're going to sit there and be like, isn't that awful? No. They're walking their freaking cats. That's great. We got Zara has a cat sitting here with her right now. What about any of that sounds bad? That sounds great. You have 7 dogs. That's maybe too many dogs. But hey, good on you for having a heart and a home for them. You know? I do believe you. I do believe you're walking your cats. I used to have a cat stroller. I'm like all about it. Or your dear cats walk on leashes. 3 dogs, 3 cats. See? Like, I don't understand. You guys are going to sit there and like wield that as an insult. Hey, you're nice to animals. Yeah. Yep. You got me. You like animals. Yep. I do. You know what? Donald Trump's never had a dog. One Chihuahua named Zephyr, and Noodles is 5 years old. I like this. My cat's name is Marmalade. You know? Oh, thank you for the follow, Georgie. Thank you. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining me on the live tonight. Yeah, I don't trust people who don't like animals. No. And to use that as an insult, let me name the things that these people use as an insult that's freaking hilarious. They're always like, mental health, mentally ill, SSRIs. But then the minute there's a mass shooting, what do they blame? Mental health. These people are crazy. They're just like bad people. They know they're the bad guys, though. Like, that's factual. Like, they're the bad guys. They know it. The hat is facts. Exactly. How many kids are buried on Epstein Island? How many kids are buried at Zorro Ranch? And we know that Donald Trump was involved. We know it beyond a reasonable doubt at all. Donald Trump is gross, you guys. And every one of his cabinet is gross. And the reason why his followers don't care is because they want to be gross too. Any woman who's ever grown up any time in this country knows exactly how they were treated when they were 14 and 15 years old by men who were like 50. Okay? We know exactly what those men treated us like, talked to us like. They still exist, and they all voted for Donald Trump. We have to be honest about the fact that the Republican Party is the party that protects absolute pedos, and it's not hyperbolic. We're not like being hyperbolic. We're not making it up. It's real. They're all gross pervs. The whole party is PDFs? Yes, they are. Yes, and they're abusers. They're PDFs and abusers, and we know it. Like, we know it. I will always speak up. I will always speak up for my Mexican people. I love Mexicans. I will live next to 50,000 undocumented immigrants than one MAGA. Everything about immigrants is awesome. I love their culture. I live in San Diego, California. I live in San Diego, California. I'm 15 minutes from the border. Mexican culture is pervasive in Southern California. We have a ton of Mexicans because California used to be Mexico. And I love Mexican culture here. I feel grateful to live here. When I see a taco cart on the street, it makes me happy. Or there's like tents where they're like selling Mexican food in the morning, and Cafe de Ola and stuff, Olla and stuff. I love it. I love that there's like fruit carts on the corners. I love the Mexican culture. I love the family culture of Mexico. I love the hard work ethic that Mexicans bring to the United States. And every morning I see the buildings going up around town here in San Diego, and I know who's building them, and it's not the white dudes. It's not the white dudes. It's people leaving their families at 4 a.m. so they can work in the hot sun all day to build the infrastructure of this country because they believe in the American dream, and I believe in the American dream. And I believe in the American dream. I believe that people should have the opportunity to work their way in the United States. I believe that that's what this country should be offering. I think that the fact that the United States was always seen as a safe haven for people to come here, sure, all Latinos, absolutely. I just have, obviously there's a bunch of different cultures here, and there's so many people who live in Central and South America, and Mexican culture is different than Colombian culture is different than Venezuelan culture. Just so happens we have a lot of Mexicans in San Diego. But yeah, all of Latin America, very hard workers, very family oriented. And not only that, but like they're very Christian. Like you think the Maga would be all about that because these people, they're like all about Jesus, just like the Maga are, except for they're Catholic. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. They just don't like Catholics. I don't know. All people helped build America. Well, that's the thing about America is that we are supposed to be a melting pot, and the idea that we're going to make immigration a huge issue is pathetic. It's just not an issue. Immigration is not the issue. It's never been a problem. It just genuinely is not a problem. The people who are buying up all your houses weren't immigrants. They were billionaires, And any person who's pro-ICE, like you're just cutting off your own feed because you could have had healthcare. You could have had a better life. You could have had, a better existence. And instead you got nothing. You spent more money than ever and you have nothing. Your life is more expensive than ever. Your groceries are more expensive than ever. Your housing is more expensive than ever. And you can't afford to live. There's no jobs. All the jobs are being cut. All the pay is the same as it was 20 years ago. Our minimum wage is the same as it was during Barack Obama's presidency, which was like 18 years ago. And you guys are sitting there like cheering on your own destruction. Well, it's stupid. Like I'm done with it. We're all done with it. The U.S. moved the border. Yeah. I write a musical every once in a while, and I add like little things to the musical. One of them was, this is 1984, except it's 2026, and it's worse than you imagined. It's a dystopian hellscape full of supervillains, and for some reason, there is a supervillain worshipping cult. But this isn't pretend. No, this is actually your real life. And so I write little songs. That's one of them. The other song I have is, and when you see this wall, does it make you feel proud? And will you lay down your life for this man, for this land, which isn't owned by you, but by a rich man? It's so funny. What's my opinion about Spider-Man attacking Jake Lang? I honestly think that Jake Lang needs to be ignored. I know the solution to Jake Lang. I know the solution to malignant narcissists. I know the solution. And the solution is to ignore them. If Jake Lang is going to go make a whole big deal about it, don't even counter protest. Don't even give him the benefit of it. Do something in a completely different place. Jake Lang's going to go up and throw a hate thing. Great. We're going to be doing a pride parade in the park. Jake Lang's going to be over here. All right. We're doing a Rocky Horror Picture Show review over here. We need to ignore him. They tried confrontation. He loves it. He loves it. Don't give him what he wants. Don't give them what they want. Okay? I don't want to talk about Jackie Long anymore. In fact, I want everyone to refer to him as Jackie Long. He doesn't like to be dead named as Jake. His name is Jackie. And Jackie needs to be ignored because Jackie's gross. Jackie thrives on attention. If nobody showed up that day, there wouldn't have been a media circus. We are creating our own problem by not just ignoring them sometimes. We need to be countering it. How do we counter it? Through joy. On our own side. He wants attention. Don't give it to him. Yeah, exactly. Don't give it to him anymore. It's done. Jake Lang's going to show up somewhere. Good. You're going somewhere else. You're going to show your solidarity with each other somewhere where he is not. Okay? Like, that's the solution. I know the solution. It's over. He needs to be ignored. He's a Fed. He's being paid by Israel and Stephen Miller to do what he's doing. And you're giving Stephen Miller exactly what he wants. Vance will do a good job. Yes, please run JD Vance. My favorite part about JD Vance is that nobody likes him. My favorite part about JD Vance is that nobody likes him. Not even Usha or his mom. Yeah, run JD Vance, please. Thank you. My favorite part about JD Vance is that nobody likes him. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Please. Yeah, run him. Absolutely. You're right. JD Vance is your only hope. My favorite part about a cult is that when there's no successor, that usually the cult kind of dies. So, yeah, Chelsea Gods 2028. That's right. In Gods we trust. In Gods we trust. Steve Hilton must be beaten. It's about a 60% to 40% in California that Becerra is going to win. So I'm not too concerned, you know? I'm not too concerned about Steve Hilton, but I will be doing counter protests against Steve Hilton for sure. Absolutely. He tries to do the bulldozing thing, but nobody likes it because JD Vance doesn't have aura. He's got no aura. JD Vance only got as far as he did politically because JD Vance only got as far as he did politically because of being sponsored by Peter Thiel. So JD Vance only is where he's at because Peter Thiel sponsored him to get to that position. JD Vance is dangerous because he's doing the bidding of billionaires, but not just billionaires, like evil billionaires. Peter Thiel believes in techno-feudalism. Peter Thiel wants regular people to be beholden to the billionaires. And how's that good for anybody? How's that good for anybody? When can the fascists be sent back to being mall cops? They're not getting sent back to being mall cops. They're being tried for their crimes. They're being tried for their crimes. And when I'm president of the United States, that is what I will be doing is I will be expanding the prosecutorial system in order to make sure that every single one of these people come to justice for their violations of human rights. Because the only way that freedom and democracy continue to exist is if we consider human rights to be paramount. And so when we break human rights, we hold people accountable to a jury of their peers for breaking those human rights. And they're not going back to being mall cops. A lot of them are going to be people who are locked up for a long time, and they will deserve it because when we're cruel to other human beings, we lose our humanity. We've seen this happen time and time and time again throughout history. And the one thing you cannot do is absolve people of their guilt. You cannot just forgive them and then try and move forward. In fact, that's one of the worst things that you can do. That's what they did in Brazil. I heard this guy talking about it. He's like, that's what they did in Brazil. Was it Brazil? No, Chile in the 1970s. They just forgave all these people. No, you can't have these murderers walking among you. The murderers, the people who are willing to be murderers walking among you are the people who violate the contract of civil society. They must be brought to justice. And there must be an entire team of people who are dedicated to human rights. And here's the deal. When people care about human rights, it protects everybody. It protects everybody. Human rights matter, you know? Stephen Miller, I have a great song. Stephen Miller has a micro penis. That's why he looks like a... Stephen Miller is what happens when your member's the size of a pinky finger. Yes, free the people in the concentration camps and then put ICE in them. But I still don't want ICE to live in a concentration camp because I don't believe in violating people's human rights, right? Like, do I think these people deserve to be locked away? Sure, absolutely. Do they deserve to be punished? Definitely, definitely. But I wouldn't torture anybody because that's not really my bag, right? Sweden doesn't torture people in prison. They still treat people like human beings. It's important that at all levels of society that we give people the basic amount of human decency. The prison system in the United States needs to be massively reformed. The prison system is a for-profit slavery system, and it's the way that it is because some people are making money off of the pain and suffering of others, and it's just generally not the way that it should be. And even ICE agents, after they're going through their trials, whatever we're going to call them, because we don't know the future right now, but when they're going through their trials, they still deserve to be treated like human beings, and the entire prison system in the United States needs massive, massive reforms. Massive reforms. Stephen Miller, I actually think should be tried with treason. And I think that when he's found guilty of treason, Stephen Miller should not, the full extent of the law should be carried out. Stephen Miller, for me, the full extent of the law should be carried out for treason. Stephen Miller not only tried to destroy democracy in the United States of America, he was successful in destroying democracy in the United States of America so far, and he also is trying to destroy democracy in other parts of the world. Stephen Miller is the type of person who, even when he was a teenager, thought that torture was okay. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. When you put political leaders in power who think that torture is appropriate, you shouldn't be surprised that the result is actually bad for everybody, because torture is not good for anybody. The type of government leaders who think that torture is a-okay will create a country that's like Israel, and Israel is, not ideal. They're actually a warmongering country. And I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be like that anymore. I'm over it. I'm over being the bad guys. I don't want to be the bad guy. I want to be the good guy. I want to be the hero in the story. I don't want to be the kind of person who, when people see you, they're worried because you're going to harm them. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of being the baddie. Being Darth Vader feels bad, bro. I want to be a Jedi. Okay. I want to be a Jedi. I want to be Indiana Jones. Okay. I want to be the hero. I don't want to be the bad guy anymore. Carl, nobody can smell through their phone. So if there's something you can smell, you need to go clean your bedroom of all of those piss bottles that you've been storing in Mountain Dew 2-liter bottles. Do I think the people who are not speaking are scared or indifferent? Indifferent because it hasn't affected them personally yet. Indifferent because it hasn't affected them personally yet. As a Mexican man, he's not Mexican. As a white guy pretending to be Mexican online, he'll forget to change his account when he now says he's a woman. Here's the thing that you need to know about ICE and why it should bother you as a Mexican person, even though I know you're not Mexican and that you're pretending to be Mexican online. Here's the thing you need to, and especially because you put Walter Cronkite, nobody under the age of 75 knows who Walter Cronkite is. That is like the facts. Okay, so actually you're in Texas. Great. An American citizen was killed in Brownsville, Texas because he was brown and you didn't know about it for an entire year. That's right. It was either June or July. A young man who was 23 years old was shot and killed in his truck in Texas, not because he was an undocumented by an ICE agent, not because he was an undocumented immigrant, but because he was brown. So I get it. You think that the policies of white supremacy are doing what you want them to be doing, but the policies of white supremacy will also fall on your own house. In fact, they do fall on your own house. In fact, all they're doing is looking at your skin, bro. And white supremacy doesn't work out for you because you're brown. And I know you think you're on team white supremacist, but here's the joke. You're just a token to them. And the thing about tokens is they always get spent. They always get spent. Okay? You already know they do, because I just told you about a 23-year-old who got murdered in Brownsville, Texas, who the guy who killed him wasn't even charged. So if you run into a person like that, they can kill you and nothing will happen. And you're sitting there like, I think it's good they're doing that. Sir, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. The Supreme Court of the United States in Kavanaugh's decision explicitly stated that a person's skin color and the language they're speaking was enough reason to detain them. They're coming for you. And they don't care if you're legal. They will pick you up. In Minneapolis, a 17-year-old boy who was working at Target, had a passport in his back pocket, and ICE picked him up and put him in their van, and they broke his arm. They broke his arm. They broke the upper part of his arm. Can you imagine what they did to break the upper part of his arm? And then they dropped him off. They dropped him off a few miles later, like 20 to 40 minutes later, and they just left him because he was brown. So you think that you're going to be unaffected by the policies of white supremacy? You know that there were slaves who were pro-slavery. There were slaves who were pro-slavery, and I never understood it. I never understood the idea that there were slaves who existed in real life who were pro-slavery. And watching it happen in real time, what do you mean, where did I hear that story? It's not a story. It's not a story, Kevin. It's what happened. It's not a story. It's everywhere because it happened. What? Because you didn't want to listen to it, because you want to ignore it, because the reality of things hurt you. And this is the thing I don't like about the Maga, is that I will tell you the most disgusting, disturbing things you've ever heard. The most disgusting, disturbing things you've ever heard. And it's real. You can look it up. Like, Google's free to you too. And they'll get offended by it. They're like, that can't be real. That didn't happen. But it doesn't matter. As soon as they find out that it did happen, they will make an excuse for it. They will make an excuse for it. They will be like, oh, well. So they'll be offended by it at first. They'll question it. They'll say it didn't happen. And then they'll just accept it because they're bad people. And they know it. And they know it. And they know they're bad people. You know? Awful. Just awful. Just terrible. Just the most monstrous thing. They're vile. Yeah. And they love it because they get to lean into the worst parts of themselves. It's not a conspiracy. And this is it. Again, they're going to deny it because they want to create plausible deniability. It's not deniable. It happened. It happened. Certainly not correct about the vaccine. Who was president in 2020? 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 Anyway, the vaccine actually did work. The vaccine dropped, in people who are vaccinated, it dropped their rates by something like 90%. Ask me if I've ever had COVID. No. No, I've never had COVID. You know who did get the vaccine? Actually, I'll give any MAGA $500 if you can prove that Donald Trump has not had the vaccine in the last year. I'll give any MAGA $500 if you can prove that Donald Trump does not get the COVID vaccine. $500. Your cult leader gets the COVID vaccine. I know he did. I know exactly what day he got the COVID vaccine last year. I will give you $500. I'm not even betting anything because you can't do it. You can't do it. I need you to Google Donald Trump COVID vaccine October 10th, 2025. Donald Trump was proud of the vaccine. He did not create the vaccine, but mRNA vaccines are incredible technology. mRNA vaccines are a huge step forward in vaccine technology. We know inoculations work, period. You know what? 2 people died of the measles in Pennsylvania. The first measles deaths this year. Last year was the first time we'd had measles deaths in like 20-something years. People keep dying of the measles from preventable illness because you guys think that you're smarter than doctors. You don't know anything about medicine at all. You don't know anything about medicine at all. You guys, he got really sad when he found out Donald Trump was vaccinated. He said, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go. He didn't like that. Yeah, Donald Trump gets his vaccination every single year. Donald Trump gets the COVID vaccine every year. Oh, and by the way, you know what the Fauci diaries showed us? That people in the Trump administration were talking to Dr. Fauci personally. Stephen Miller's wife, Katie, had COVID while she was pregnant, and she was constantly talking to Dr. Fauci. You guys are weirdos. Dr. Fauci is one of the most preeminent doctors in the entire world. What, it made you mad that he put in place common sense public health policies that every other country on the planet with different health ministers also put in place? Oh, isn't that funny? The MAGA trying to claim that Dolly was MAGA. Dolly was a very staunch pro-LGBTQ ally. Dolly was also Miley Cyrus's godmother. You guys. Isn't that the funniest thing? Dolly Parton, the pro-gay, pro-literacy advocate who gave away all her money, and the MAGA want to claim her. Bro, what MAGA gives away money? What MAGA gives away money? No, Lana, thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. Thank you. Dolly would never have been MAGA. No, of course not. Literally, of course not. She was very good about not being political publicly, but it's very obvious who she was as a person, and she wasn't conservative at all. Did you hear his stupid speech? No, I can't listen to him talk. I hate him. I hate him with every fiber of my being. I don't want to listen to a pedophile talk. No thanks. No thank you. No, thank you. I can't. You're a progressive Christian. I can kind of get down with progressive Christians because you guys believe in human rights and human beings, and you like the actual teachings of Jesus, where you try and be Christ-like and not Christian. Because I think that if we're talking about Jesus and his teachings, he didn't like the rich. He wanted to give money to the poor, alms to the poor, love your neighbor, treat others as you want to be treated. Like, I think the story of Jesus is very nice because he's just telling people to be kind to each other. But the modern day Christians have perverted what the story of Jesus is about. I mean, really, in the story of Jesus, it says that it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. And who do these people worship? A rich man. You know? Yeah, they never follow their own doctrine. Like, they don't understand the Bible at all. They've never read the Bible because they don't know how to read, you know? Like, they don't know. Okay, you guys. I've been on for, I don't know how long. A while. But it was fun. It was a good time. I had a good time with you guys. Make sure to join me on our next live. God bless our Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. That's actually hilarious because that breaks the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I am an atheist. That's me. I am a proud atheist. I want you guys to know that I'm a very proud atheist. I'm super proud to be an atheist. I'm super proud to be a common sense voice in the United States of America. I'm proud to not believe in imaginary God and allow my life to be lived in a kind way where I care about others and humanity. So you think Donald Trump is the Antichrist even though you're an atheist? And honestly, maybe that story of the Antichrist is really a story about Machiavellian style leadership, right? Maybe that's what that whole story is about, is what happens when you allow leaders to be so freaking corrupt, when you allow people who are rich and powerful to literally corrupt everything. I think that's kind of what that story is about, right? Yes, I think that atheism and no religion at all is the fastest growing religious segment in the United States of America, which is funny, is kind of a bit of a misnomer because atheists aren't religious. Like, we're not religious. Just like not collecting stamps is not a hobby. Being an atheist is not a religion. And it's the fastest growing religion in the United States. And we need atheists to be louder and more proud of who we are and pushing back and putting that common sense out there. And I want us to not be backed down into a corner. Christianity is dying out. I do believe that, like, over the last 2,000 years, we've seen the move from, you know, polytheism to monotheism. And now let's see the move to post-theism. It's time for that to start happening. And it will happen. Right? It will happen that we become like a post-theist society. And the less we rely on magic books and God to make policies for human beings, the better it is for real human beings, because then we're actually caring about things that are actually happening and actually affecting people. And I do believe that most people who are not religious are kinder, nicer, and have more empathy than people who are religious. So hopefully that's where we can move on to. Isn't Islam growing more than atheism? Not in the United States. No. Not in the United States. Like, what? Because you guys are giving birth, and because they're giving birth and then they don't allow people not to be Islamic? I mean, that's not the same thing. Atheism is not recognized as a religion. It's literally the absence of religion. Just like the absence of oxygen is not oxygen, the absence of religion is not religion. All right, guys, have a good night. And then Kimmy, send me a DM. You should expose your friends who are Maga and tell their wives what you know. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Show them their grinder. See you guys. And never forget, leave your Maga husband, but cheat on him first. Cheat with his brother or his best friend, whichever is worse. He doesn't deserve your kitty, meow, meow. It's time for you to hit the road, but leave a lasting impression before you go and cheat on your Maga husband. Bye, guys. Why is this not ending over here?